Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. For those of you that know me, you probably know that I just went through a shoulder surgery to repair my torn rotator cuff as well as two tears in my labrum, both on my right shoulder. Um, and something I didn't even realize was going to happen, I had bone spur. So those of you that don't know me, you stumbled across this video because you most likely looked up something like shoulder surgery, rotator cuff, labrum, or bone spur because those are the procedures that I had to have corrected. Um, and you're either going through the recovery process right now, and hopefully I can help you with that, or you're getting ready for your own surgery and are interested in finding out what you're going to go through and what the process is like. So hopefully in all areas I can support your journey, and I thank you for supporting mine, but hopefully I can give you the information that you're looking for and maybe some hope for it not being as bad as you're expecting. Because really, other than the first couple days, things haven't been too bad. I've adjusted well. There's definitely been some changes in my routines, but I'm very positive about it. I feel good. The reason I couldn't get online and blog about it the first week is the first 3 days I was in way too much pain. I couldn't raise my arm at all. I am in a sling. I'm actually going to be in this from 4 to 6 weeks. I'm hoping more like the 4. You'll notice I have a giant pad right here, and this restricts my movement because it actually hurts if I move my right hand across my body like I'm doing with my left right now. It hurts if I open it up too far. And you'll also notice even when I take this sling off, which I will in a minute, my elbow is staying pretty close to my side. I have good range of motion like this, but as far as when I'm moving outward, it is painful. And I'll do a little bit of that in this video. But I was really immobile the first few days, and sleeping's been an issue. Even now, I'm still uncomfortable. That's probably the most uncomfortable part of my routine. It's not so much just the sleeping, but the waking up in the morning. It is winter time, so the air's cold. The cold air does kind of, I feel that sting. I'm trying to only take ibuprofen right now. The first couple days I was taking hydrocodone and ibuprofen, and I weaned off that within 4 or 5 days as best as I could. But this is what happened. I have 6 incisions, 2 in the front, 2 in the side, 2 in the back. They went in. We knew about the labral tear that happened because the MRI showed that. It did not show the torn rotator cuff, which is crazy because it was completely shredded. But when the doctor went in, he went in arthroscopically, took a look, and it turns out there were 2 pretty severe tears of the labrum. And with that, you're supposed to let it rest and harden. Problem is, we found that I had a large rip right through the middle of my rotator cuff, which was pretty substantial. And in that case, I actually need to keep this moving. So it's kind of going to be an interesting journey when it comes to that. Hopefully, those of you who are watching, you're going to either go through labral repair or rotator cuff. Sorry if you're going through both. But on top of that, I also had pretty nasty bone spurs that they actually shaved out and shaved smooth. And what I was experiencing with that, this was probably a previous injury from being a pitcher, is my throwing motion, the bone spur was rubbing, and that's probably what caused some of the damage to my muscle tissue. And then my fall last year is what really snapped everything and prompted me to have surgery. I did try 6 months of therapy, and I told my therapist, you know what, things are just not working. I'm not feeling an improvement, and that's when we went forward with the surgery. I'm hoping I can get this off by Christmas time, and I'll be back. I don't expect to be feeling really strong for another 3 months or so. So it's going to take probably 4 months before I can really start working out, which drives me crazy. For those of you that know me, you know that I'm into fitness, Beachbody coach, and all the programs that I love doing, especially the fact that P90X3 is coming out in just a couple days, and I can't do it. So that's driving me crazy. I'm going to have to wait pretty good amount of time before I could jump on that, but I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you guys join me for that. But I'm not expecting this recovery to be a snap. I'm going to take things slow, which is not usually my nature. I mean, when I broke my wrist in the middle of baseball season, I was pitching within 6 weeks. I can't do that this time. Muscles and tendons are much different when it comes to recovery from bones. And at my age, which I'm 36, so I'm not this young kid anymore that can just bounce back. I'm hoping I still have some of that in me, and I'm going to push it as best I can within my limitations of my doctors. But that's the journey that I'm going to be explaining to you guys, the process. And I'll show you the first thing, and then the rest you can read down below for the details of what I've been going through. But I do understand that some people don't want to read. I don't blame you. So here's a little snippet. I am taking this off every now and then for a couple reasons. One, my elbow gets very, very tired. Okay, and yours will too if you go through this, just from being, you know, in that position all day long. So you do want to rest it, but be careful. Make sure your elbow stays close to your side, because when you come out, you really do feel it. That first day, I wasn't moving at all for obvious reasons. Second and third day, I was moving it very, very slightly. I'll turn sideways so you can see. I was only able to move like here and here before, and it gave me great pain. My range of motion is improving this way and very much this way. But if I add some weight, like a cup of water or something, which I accidentally reached for and I picked up, the slightest movement, I really felt it both in the front and in the back. So be careful with that. Take things slow. So I'm trying to get as good as I can left-handed. But as far as my therapy right now, before I start with the actual trainer, my sessions are 3 times a day. All I'm doing is, from my body swiveling, I'm letting my arm kind of swing around in a circle, so you can see like a pendulum action, and I'm doing most of the movement with my body and letting my arm just kind of swing. What's that doing? Well, it's helping with my range of motion, especially for my rotator cuff. To be honest with you, the front, the labrum, is actually supposed to harden because it acts as a sealer for your joint, your ball joint right there. Kind of, if you think like a faucet, if this seal isn't completely correct, you're going to leak water everywhere. Well, here I'm going to feel my bone slip and I feel my joint slip out of place. And that's what the importance of the labrum is. But the rotator cuff needs to get its range of motion back, and I don't want to let that get stiff or atrophy at all. So I'm trying to get that moving, and it is getting a lot better. So all I'm doing is that 3 times a day for 5 to 10 minutes. Feels really good in the morning. Just let the hot water run on it. It really loosens it up a bit, so I use that as my first session of the morning, and that's been really effective for me. As I said earlier, I'm trying not to rely on too many painkillers. I'm just doing ibuprofen. What I was prescribed coming out of the surgery room was hydrocodone and ibuprofen, which I tried to wean off of after that first week. So I don't want to take drugs if I don't have to. The pain, really, it's more discomfort at this point than it is pain, other than in the morning. There was definite pain the first 3 to 4 days, so you're going to want to take those the prescriptions probably every 4 hours, because you want to make sure that you're cycling it so you're never going through the hard pain before the stuff kicks in. I highly recommend that. But you know, take whatever you can do, push yourself like I'm going to, but be smart about it. And you're in for an interesting journey, because if you're like me, you're not used to using your left hand too often. So you can only imagine the things that you are pretty dependent on your dominant hand for. Well, you're going to find out just how dependent you are. So good luck, best wishes, and I look forward to any questions that you may have. Go ahead and email me. You can either click the link here on our website, or simply type matt@tnthomefitness.com. I'll be happy to give you any details that I don't cover here. Maybe at one point I'll be able to share the pictures of my surgery. They're pretty cool, but just too lengthy to go over here on this video, and to be honest, it'd be just too hard to show on camera. Maybe I can scan some and post them on my blog or on Facebook. Feel free to follow me on Facebook or Twitter. All the links are on my profile page here on tnthomefitness.com. Take care and have a good one.